Hello.
Hello.
We've
Hello.
left
Hello.
Bintan Island, Indonesia, and we're now in Kediri in East Java.
Wow. That sounds fancy. That sounds exotic. Exactly. We're going to hear all about that today. So let's get this kicked off the ground. Allison, you're back. You're awake. Great to see you. What's going on? Oh, good times. Good times. Hey, we'll kick this off the ground. It's been a week for many of us. Some of us just a day, but a week in Partner Code feels like a year sometimes. Anyone else feel like that sometimes? You're just like, oh my gosh. It's like nice. So I hope last week we decided to take off all trainings just so because there's so many leaders that are out and about. I think it's always good to have times of rest. And then you also have times of work as well, too, times of play. We work hard and we play hard. So of course, last week, if you were hiding under a rock, was not one, but actually two incentive trips that Partner Co had. Who here has it on your vision board to travel more with Partner Co? You love that. You know, the only thing better than a vacation is an all expenses paid one, and specifically by Partner Co. It is next level. So we're going to hear from some of the amazing trip winners on their experience. And the intention is not to be like, oh, it must be nice, but the intention is to have that become a goal for you. And nothing happens in your business or your life without a decision. So this, I know that after today's call, there will be something that can shift in you whereby this time next year, it's not going to be you watching other people having all the fun and everything. You're going to be the ones front row center in the videos, in the photos, in all the things. And that's fun. I'm sure you've been seeing, who here's seen any of the recap videos of any of the trips that are starting to go out there now? Like they're just pushing it out like crazy. You know, it's like super cool. It's like they do travel differently, I know. So we're going to talk about that. We'll also dial into, well, if you want to go on a trip, how do you actually get onto these things? I think that's important as well too. Um, and then we'll end today with a raffle because we just launched our newest onboarding system. We had a bunch of you go through that. I'd love to hear from some of you guys on your experiences on going through that onboarding because that is an essential part to how we're going to be able to win these trips for you and your future teammates and everything. And then we'll talk about some strategy. So I hope that sounds fun and everything. So let's just go around the horn a little bit. And what I want to encourage you all on is this is what changes your life and what helps you to really set goals is not necessarily what it is, but it's how it makes you feel. And what I want you to imagine is you hear whether it's Tammy sharing her experience or it's Jody and Janine sharing them on the other side of the world. Like what I hope that you can capture is an emotion. And if you allow yourself the freedom and ability to just let that emotion touch you, the power of goal setting. It's okay if I drop one little tip here, and then we'll get into this. Okay, goal setting is something that I've learned through this profession. I never was taught to learn how to set goals. I was only told what to do. The job world tells you what to do, and this is how much you get paid. But successful people, they learn how to set goals on what they want. I was sitting down at the end event. There was a luau, and I was sitting in front of Brent Palmer. He brought both of his children. So Peyton Palmer, many of you know, he leads the next gen partners, but then also he has a daughter, Mackenzie's 20 years old, going to school, and she asked me a little bit about my background, and I told her at first I was thinking about becoming a medical doctor, and then she was basically like, "Well, what changed?" And this is what I said. I said, "School taught me that you should be aiming for what to do in your life, right? In school, they ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Remember that, like career day, stuff like that. But when I got into business and I got around successful people, it was the first time in my life that I heard people asking a different question. And they taught me to ask the question of not what do you want to be? All of it's a vehicle, right? Partner Code is a vehicle, an amazing one. But everything in terms of work is a vehicle to get to where. They taught me to ask the question of what do I want in life? What is success? How do you want to live? Who do you want to be with? Where do you want to go? What do you want to see? I never thought about that. Maybe you have, but I never even thought about that. I didn't even know that was possible to think differently. And when I allow myself to think that way, then you backtrack and you think, well, what's the best way to achieve the freedom and the flexibility and the impact that you want. And I still have no doubt in my mind that Partner Co, especially Partner Co specifically, is the best vehicle to be able to do that. So our goal is to drive it. So you as your driver in your vehicle is to plot out the destination where you want to go. And if travel or experiences or memories are one of those, then emotions are important because the emotion starts first, your body catches up. Did you catch that? The emotion starts first, and then the body catches up. So if you allow yourself to be there already, then just watch. It's not a matter of if, but it's a matter of when. And you'll be like, how does it feel? Well, it feels like kind of how it was already feeling. So, anyways, I'm gonna go over to Jody and Janine because selfishly, I'm a little bit sad because this year there's just so much going on. It happened to be that both incentive trips, one in Bintan Island in Malaysia or Indonesia, was happening at the literal same time as Maui, Hawaii. And we had to choose. We're like, where do we go? And it's so hard to choose, right? It's like we were thinking, Becky, should you go one place and I go to another place? But we decided to go to Maui this time. But we were living vicariously through Jody and Janine and the squad. Vanessa was there with them. Stacey was with them. But Jody and Janine, do you mind sharing a little bit about your experiences? Like, what was this trip like? And you guys have been on trips before with companies, and you guys love travel as well too. But tell us a little bit about what you experienced out there on that side.
Well, I have to say, Bintan Island was absolutely amazing. Beautiful location. The company just looked after us because it's all inclusive. Jody will go into that a bit more, like you never spent anything. We just had the best time. But my experience that I really got out of it was, I remember when we first joined and Dana Harper said to us that Partner Co is so diverse and inclusive, and that's what I got out of meeting so many different people and hearing their stories, and the way that Partner Co just puts their arms literally around everybody from any background, from any culture, from anything, and just includes them. It is the most special feeling ever. Yes. So
Mm.
that's my experience. And just hearing all the stories, you get that picture. Yeah.
That's one of the biggest differences, right? You can travel anywhere you want, but it's so different when you go with Partner Co because you're around like-minded people that are so diverse, like what you mentioned, Janine, but you get to connect with them and you get more from that experience. Was there any conversation in particular or someone you met in particular that really left a lasting impression on you, Janine? What's one thing you learned?
I think just the different ways that people build their businesses. That was what stood out for me. And I think also the people that in Australia, where we had so many come across from another company, the fact that they had such huge businesses and the financial impact on them when that company closed, I don't think that we totally understood that. But hearing their stories and their courage and their resilience and how they've, come into Partner Co and just rebuilt that and connected with all of us, I just think that was, my takeaway.
That's beautiful. So, so cool. Guys, it's phenomenal. It's so important because who here wants a global business, right? Like when you wake up, people go to sleep. When you sleep, people wake. So it's important to understand like Partner Co is not just doing well in just one pocket in the world, but it's doing well everywhere. And to know that people feel safe here, to know that people are included here, that the culture really is everywhere is a really powerful thing. So I love that. Jody, sounds like you had something else to touch on as well in terms of the
Repeat the question
experience.
now.
Yeah. You
What
love
was
the
the
all
question?
inclusive. Was that it? Or
no. Oh, the resort.
Yeah, so my biggest thing was I kept messaging my husband saying, I've been away for like 3 days, 5 days, whatever. I've spent $12. Literally, I'd spent $12. That was it, because everything at Club Med was included. And then every time I'd turn around, there'd be another picture of us with another fancy drink, and I'm like, yeah, and I sent a picture of the all-inclusive list and going, you don't have to pay for anything.
The buffets.
The buffets. It's amazing. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I'm talking about. I'm going to flip through a couple photos just so you guys can see this. And what I'd encourage all of us to do, this is what I did when I heard these things, guys. And I'm like, oh, it'd be so nice to be there. Is I suspended disbelief that I couldn't be there. Because Jody and Janine, I'm sure at one point in your careers, you're like, that's for like those other people. That's not me, Yep. But imagine photos like these, and you're like, no, I'm in there, right? I'll probably go back to this later on, but Allison flashed me a really cool photo where Sheila Tengwe photoshopped herself into the photos. And I'm like, that's wise. Like, that's really, really wise, because that's seeing yourself there already. So really, really cool. But all these experiences, look at this. And I'm sure this was way more impressive in person than through a little video, right? But which is incredible. But these are life-changing experiences that are just so unique and so different. And they really do wine and dine you super, super well. Jody, do you have any tip for somebody that if they're newer or they've never qualified for a trip like this, because you weren't always a trip qualifier, what's one tip you would give for us?
Never give up. So you said before, sometimes you think, oh, I can never achieve that, or, is that's for those other people. So my very first ever trip with a different company, I remember sitting in a massive room in Melbourne, and they announced this trip. You had to be a certain level, you had to be emerald level. And I remember thinking, wow, how am I ever going to get there? I don't think I can do that. But within the next 12 months or 8 months, whatever it was, the qualifying period, there were extra little incentives along the way that helped me to chip away at it. So initially I thought, how am I ever going to get there? But all those extra things, I never gave up. So if you never give up, along the way, there's some extra little carrots that, maybe there's some LCs, some lifestyle credits, a big bonus you can achieve or work towards. Never give up, because it's achievable for everybody. You don't have to be in the top 10. You don't have to be number one. You just have to never give up. And I never give up.
That's huge. Very good tip. When you set the decision, the world conspires to help you get there. I concur with that. Absolutely. Well, Jody, Janine, thanks so much. We're super proud of you guys. Thanks for having way more fun on behalf of all of us. We could definitely tell.
Thank you.
I'm going to go over.
And because Bintan, we also got to come to Java and stay with my beautiful Javanese family here, which I've always wanted to do. So one thing leads to the next, and I had to make it happen to get here.
Oh my gosh, come on. Congrats. Vanessa, are you free, by the way? I know you might be traveling, but Friday, 10 a.m. Sydney time. Do you have time that time, or are you traveling at the time? You are? You're not? You're not. Okay, that's a no.
I really don't know, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't know where I'm going to be.
Let me know, because what I want to do is I want to do a business presentation with some of y'all. So we can take this fire and bring it in front of possible, but keep me updated on that. I'd love to go to Stacy, actually. Okay. So Stacy was out there as well too. If you guys don't know who Stacy Pazan is, Stacy was the first leader to come on board to pioneer Australia. So she was there in the beginning, and now years later, you see what it is now, one of the hottest markets on the place. Stacy, I'm curious for you, because you're a woman. If you ever hang out with Stacy, she is a woman of style, of class, of elegance. You will never see her. She is always on point. She does high-end photography, but she lives she just has a standard of life around her. So I'm curious, Stacy, even for someone like you, and you travel and you do things, when it comes to what PartnerCo puts together of quality into the events, how was this event for you? Did it meet your standards?
Yes, absolutely. Because if I were going to do something like this, I have to put a lot of effort in myself. And most of the time, I don't have time to do it. And PartnerCo just put everything together. Did you see the food that we eat? Oh my God, every night is different. And it looks like we fine dining every day. and you can select whatever we want, and champagne all the way, and cocktails unlimited. I never drink so much cocktail in my life, and I'm not a drinker. I have so many cocktails by the pool, and even so when say, are you drunk yet? And it was just amazing. Yeah,
That's so
really
fun.
amazing. Yeah.
Stacey, something I've seen about you that I think is remarkable, and it's a really key secret to success, is you show up no matter what. There's seasons, I've seen you through multiple different seasons, because if you've been involved in business for more than 3 months, you're going to have up seasons and down seasons and all arounds, right? So, Stacey, I've seen you with large teams. I've seen you with teams that dwindled. I've seen you with amazing business. I've seen you with testing times of business. It doesn't matter. But despite through all ups and downs and everything, I think a non-negotiable you have is you always show up, whether it's to PXP, Connect, to the incentive trips. Like, you really are good at keeping close to the culture, even when you launched, because you were like the lone soldier in a different time zone and no one else was there. But you kept really close to the campfire. You made it to the calls. You were always with corporate. Like, tell us about that. Like, what goes through your mind? I know that's a strategy, that's a deep intention, but can you share some light on that?
I think to stay close to the fire is important, because I need to know what is going on with the market and different market as we build globally. And if I have people around the world, I need to know what is going on around the world. So to plug into the calls, whether I can or I can't, or whether watching the replay. And I try to tune in live most time, because replay sometimes doesn't happen, because if you pass the live, sometimes it just, I don't have time to go rewatch the replay. So I try to tune in live as much as I can. But even though I miss, sometimes I have to play catch up, but at least I get somewhere to, catch up and to know what is the current situation is and what the company is doing, where everyone else is going. So that keep me on track with what I do. But what I find is the key principle of building the business is to just show up as much as you can. Just be there. It's your own business. No one else going to do it for you.
True. Yes.
It's your baby. Don't get the neighbor to raise it.
Exactly. Hey, who here wouldn't mind qualifying for a trip? You just heard that big tip from Stacey. That's what she does. She just always makes sure. It doesn't matter what anyone around her is doing or not doing, above her, beneath her. It doesn't matter. If I wasn't on the calls, for example, Stacey would still go, right? She is her own independent. Of course, she collaborates, but she's like, I am showing up no matter what, because this is my life. This is my baby. So really well said. Stacey, what title are you, by the way? Officer. Jody, Janine, what title are you guys?
Officer.
Okay. I have to say officer. I can't say the R, Vanessa, what title are you?
Officer.
You have to make the accent.
Vanessa is
Officer,
with
I need to
Stacey
learn
right now
to
in
say
person, by
that.
the way. So that's why they're there, Vanessa, quick thing, because I'd love to have you on a call and share more, but what's one thing that this trip did for you?
I up-leveled my confidence. It's taken a bit of a beating lately from just outside forces, etc., and mixing with people who have a level of confidence that's either 1 step or 10 steps above me. I relished being around that and just soaking in that. And so the evidence of that is yesterday I went to look for this place. And when I walked by this building, I saw they have these little market store, like more upmarket, not Asian market kind of stores. And I looked at the people and I thought, I'm going over there to prospect someone because they're already selling. And so I walked over there, I walked up and down the stalls and I found a woman selling natural makeup and natural skincare. And I thought, she's my girl. And I just went over to her, and Janet and I are going to talk later on in the week. We've connected, we've swapped Facebook. And because I said to her, I said, oh my gosh, this would be perfect. What I do. Well, first of all, I talked to her and found out she's a mum. She's got 2 sons. They travel every year and they find Singapore expensive, but they still manage to travel every year. And she wants to retire in 20 years in Greece, So I just found out as much as I could about her. And then I said, hey, look, you would be perfect. You're an entrepreneur. You've got your own business. Your husband and you have a business together. You would be perfect at this, And in the past, what I would have thought is she's too busy, right? And I looked at the people at Bintang Island, and they're busy people, Some of them have got other businesses, some of them, and also that they talk to busy people. And you and I, James, have had this conversation before. I had a bit of a mum mentality, despite having a corporate background. And I realized that can work. It can work, but I'm missing out on a lot of people who were already there in front of me. So I just, we've swapped cards. I didn't have a card, but she did. And we just connected. So, and I said to her, look, being new in Singapore, you are so placed. You can do this at your markets that you're doing. And then you can get people as customers for life. And you're on the ground. It's new. I'm a hop, skip, and a jump away in Bali. We're connected. So I kept getting the connections with this woman. But it wasn't, no one said anything specifically at Bintang that changed my belief like that. It was the environment that I was in. And and of course I want to have a business in Singapore. Of course I want this. Of course I want. But just talking to people who affected me at a higher level, rubbing shoulders with these people, it was magnificent.
That's key right there. Once a month is expanded. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Sorry, one more little thing I will share is that I actually discovered something about myself. I have not been having sugar. I've been eating very, very clean for a few months now since getting back from Dallas. And I thought, I'm just going to let myself go. It's, it's all paid for. It's, as Jody said, we didn't put our hands in our pocket. It was amazing. And in eating sugar, and I didn't have a lot of it, mind you, but I did have some dessert every day, I actually got a bit down. And I realized the effect I physically that I've never seen it in that way before. I felt a little down having sugar. And it was a great reminder. This is just a personal thing for me, of how toxic sugar is. I know how poisonous it is, but how toxic it is to the brain and the mind. And we talk about, being a product of the product. I just got this real kick in the butt of do not do the sugar thing. Do not do it.
The body really changes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, congrats, Vanessa. So love that. Really good tip. Really big key. Because month to mind is expanded and never turns back to the same shape. And that's why you got to do whatever it takes to get around the fire, right? Whether it's these calls. And you never know what's going to do it. It's the continuation of over the course of time, it adds up. And then one day, it's just a shift happens, right? You never know. That's why I don't want to miss an event. Because you don't know when that breakthrough happens, right? And it's not one particular conversation, it's just that environment. So whether it's the next trip or PXP is a big one. Who here already has your PXP ticket? Give me a wave, put a 1 in the comments. That is the place where shifts will happen. It's almost guaranteed a shift will happen at PXP. If not, then I don't know what happened there. It's but that's the one that you absolutely want to go to. But events like a trip for sure. Absolutely do that too, but huge congrats. Thanks, Vanessa, Stacy, Jody, and Janine. I know you're still on your holiday, technically, so appreciate you guys. Thanks for representing. We're
That's
so
okay. We are about to go up this ferry wheel. Shall I show you?
Yeah.
Wait, let me find the wheel. Let me find the wheel. I'll show you the wheel. There's a massive wheel up there. You can see.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see that?
We see the outskirt of it. Yeah.
And if you look on my camera, you've got Stacy there.
Yeah.
Trying to find the wheel.
That is hilarious. Oh my God.
It will take us half an hour. We thought we were gonna sit up there to do the meeting. That would be so cool. But
that would be
we
intense.
didn't make it there.
Oh,
good. We didn't make it up there yet.
Well, appreciate you guys. Congratulations. Have fun in the wheel. Come back safe. We need you guys. For sure. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I hope you
Excellent.
guys picked at least one type of inspiration, one nugget, one something. I mean, talk about an IPA call, an income producing activity call. This, you're hearing from those that are doing some phenomenal work. And Stacy also is an officer. So if there's one other tip to gain, if you want to be able to qualify for these trips, you want to set a target for officer, senior officer, like around there. Probably at that point, you're going to win a trip at some point. Like that's a really good place to be at, you know? Flipping over to Maui and flipping over to Hawaii, let's talk through there. I'd love to go over to Matt first and Jolene because Matt's at work, so I know it's hard for him to come out. If you guys know, Matt, you guys heard his story, had to give up their anniversary, 25th anniversary trips at first, then went into the Body Balance Challenge, won it, and won a destination trip for in the most beautiful place. I'm curious, Matt, when you look at that trip compared, all trips are going to be amazing, but um, do you think this was a good replacement for that?
By far, by far. We have, me and Jolene have been on a few trips from our previous company that we were with. And I'm sorry, I got my radio going off too. So we were with various trips on previous off. I will tell you, the community that we have here, Partner Co goes all out. And I literally, from the time that we jumped on the airplane, the time we landed, to the time that we jumped to come back home, we were just showered with just love and just support. I think one of the takeaways is that being able to talk with John and Darren, they actually took time just to meet with us, to talk with us. And it wasn't like, hi, I'm Matt, I'm with, thank you very much, and they leave. No, it's like 45 minutes to an hour of getting to know me. I'm like, the owners of this company want to know about me. That never happened at the previous place that we were with. So that was one of the takeaways. The people that we get to serve with, the amount of stories that I just came home just inspired. So many stories, and I know a lot of people heard our story, and as great as that is, there were so many more that were like 10 times that. And I just literally, a heart of gratitude, huge heart of gratitude. But I left with this. Is there's always been a saying that I've always hung on to, and that was, I want to be on the front line, not a sideline. And oftentimes when what I'm referring to is, for the longest time, I always used to sit on the sideline watching other people do what I hoped that maybe one day I could do. And I just settled like, okay, that was them, and that's just, it wasn't my time, or whatever the case may be. That front line means that I'm gonna press on forward, regardless of what anybody else. I don't care if anybody's watching me. I don't care. I'm gonna press on for that front line and that front goal, so that I can be on that line, so I can experience the things that are gonna inspire me, just to inspire others. And this is that trip that literally I walked away feeling that for the first time I'm standing on that front line, and I'm not watching other people do what I hoped that I could do. So it's just, I'll let Jolene talk a little bit more because I got to get back to work. But I just, bottom of my heart, huge heart of gratitude, huge heart of just love for this company and the community that we get to serve and do life with. So love y'all. Thank you so much. It was truly life changing on every metric you could possibly imagine.
Super proud of you, Matt. What wisdom. I think we need to reaffirm that to ourselves. I think for some of us in our own minds, we're that silent person, right? And we're like, for whatever the reason is, but let this be a reminder for all of us. Can we go more frontline ourselves too, right? Put me in the comments if you're like, I will be in the front lines. Doesn't matter what anyone else does. This is my life, my business, my dreams, my vision. Let's freaking go. I love that. By the way, to those that were in Bintan, the founders on the last night talked about the unfortunate circumstance of not being able to be in two places at once. So they want to be in both places. They're not going to make scheduling. They just could not schedule two different weekends, which is unfortunate. But they love everyone that was at the Bintan Island. They said it from stage and the final luau. And they're actually, talk about a hardworking executive team. The entire C-suite, all of our chief execs of everything, are in Maui as we speak for a 3-day C-suite mastermind. So they are not just there, they're working. They literally flew all around the world just to mastermind what's coming up next. So talk about a company that's forward focused. Like they're just hitting their I don't know when these guys sleep. It's crazy, you know? So anyways, fantastic. Good place to work. Absolutely. Jolene, handing it over to you. I'm curious also, Jolene's an amazing event planner. We've come to learn. She's done wedding planning. Like she's planning out our NorCal Super Saturday, basically. Like if you're in NorCal, come up. I'm telling you, she's
You
recruiting.
better be there.
Yes, it's going to be great. May 16th, be there, be square. But I'm curious for you too, because you as a planner notice things and you've been on other trips in other companies too. For those of us on the outside, like we don't know what are the standards? What is the, what's different? But from your perspective as a planner, from your perspective, even seeing other trips, what's your take on how Partner Code does their trips and their events?
Oh my goodness. I actually went up to Audra at the end and said, girl, I don't know how you did it. You need to take a week off and just rest because this was epic. Like it was so well put together, so well coordinated, so just the perfect balance of free time, connection time, party time, all of it, like between Kevin and her and like all the logistics of it all, the photo opportunities. It was an epic event and I like you said, huge kudos. I don't know when they slept. I don't know when they rested. I don't know when they ate. Like between the photography crew, like they were so dialed in. You knew this was not their first show. And yeah, it makes you, like Matt said, it makes you want to step up your game. Like, I'm like, ooh, if I didn't like what I do and where I live as much as I do, I want to work for corporate. Like, I want to work for them and throw these epic events. But yeah, I mean, even just the learning opportunity, the way they had that set up and the ability to then have that little break as a teacher, we were taught, but then we also were able to implement and turn around and share and then ask questions. And so, yeah, I think it was probably one of the best well put together events I've ever been to. And, like Matt had said, we've done other incentive trips, and this one by far was just mind blowing. And I think one of the biggest takeaways from it for me was the leadership. And I don't think anybody from my JOB is on this call. So I'm going to share this, but I went back to work first thing this morning and I was talking to Matt after work today. And I realized just the leadership Partner Co has. It was phenomenal. And you want to work harder when your leadership are servant leaders, when they take the time to understand who you are and get to know you. And I mean, I've been at my JOB for 3 years now. I've known some of the leadership since my daughter was 6 years old. I want to work harder for Partner Co leadership than I did at work today. Because they show true leadership, the leadership I want to model, that servant leader, that, in the trenches, asking you, how can we serve you? The fact that John's wife from stage said she spent time in prayer before this event. I was like, wow, okay, these are my people. This is my family. They asked about our children. We shop at the same stores. she commented on my sweater. Like, they're real people and they really, truly care about us. I mean, we're talking, these are owners of the company and they're talking to Matt and I as if we, that imposter syndrome we all get every once in a while. Not gonna lie, felt it. I'm so proud of Matt for earning this trip, but I've always been the one to earn the trips. And so to be the spouse this time, for his name to be on all the things and it not be mine, I was like, I was the spouse along for the ride. But they took time to get to know us and how they can better us. And oh my gosh, I think the favorite question I got was, what's your favorite product? And, what do you use? And I'm like, the soap. Like, I love the soap. They're like, so do we, but Japan has this. And I'm like, now I need a brand partner in Japan. Like, it makes you want to grow and be better and be bigger. And yeah, so that's
so powerful. Absolutely. It's Partner Co. really is, it's not just a business. It's not just a brand of amazing wellness products, which, by the way, at this event, there's a small group that's trying out a new product that's about to launch. That was super good. So it's really good, by the way. So anyways, but new products, new stuff, all that's great, but it's an experience. This is a culture that needs to be experienced. And we love online. We love this capacity. But if you want your life to change this year, we need to shift experiences. We need to shift identity. That's why going to events, Partner Co. Experience, is why it's named Experience. That is the event we are driving to like crazy. Stay tuned for big announcements for that. But we're packing that thing out because that's where you're going to get a chance to meet Amy Wadsworth and Darren Kristen's, like you're going to hear that and you're like, wow, that shift needs to go from the head to the heart. And you cannot get that from just hearing about it. You have to go experience it. But that's super, super powerful. I'll comment on this too. Matt made a fun comment. He's like, why couldn't you work for corporate goals? When I saw this event, we were hanging out. Ariana Voyer is the events director. And we were in the same travel bus on the way back to the airport with her. So we were just, complimenting her and asking her questions. Did you know that she is literally at the same time planning 20 to 25 events around the world at one given moment? The PXPs, the Europe events, what? Like, wow. And you know what I said? I'm like, I'm so thankful for corporate. So we don't have to work on that. So we have the freedom to do what we need to do. And they do what they need to do. At the end of the day, they have a job. We have the freedom. So I'm grateful corporate does that, So, yes, partners are huge. Okay, she is a boss for sure. I'm going to go to Tammy and then we'll go to Allison. Tammy, you've been on multiple trips, or this is the multiple trip. This one you went with your spouse, who everyone has different family members and dynamics in your business. Some, Matt and Jolene, they're working together. For many, they're not, right? It's just you have a supportive spouse or sometimes not supportive spouse or partner or whoever. What did this trip mean for you and your family dynamic, just being able to go?
Well, this is actually my second incentive trip. And last year I was my first, and I took Robert last year. And just to put it in perspective, I have been here for 5 years. I just had my 5-year anniversary. And this one, we were excited to go because it was our 25th anniversary. And we didn't plan anything for our 25th anniversary because this was kind of it, a special treat for us. And I didn't even have to tell like my kids when we came back exactly all about our trip. They just saw our pictures that we posted. And my daughter even said, I was telling my neighbor how much, we had a good time. And even my daughter said, oh my gosh, Daddy had way better time this one than he did last one. Not that the last one wasn't good, but it like grew stronger on him or something. It grew, I don't know, it grew deeper. I think it grew deeper roots, deeper belief. He loved seeing people, that were familiar. He felt kind of like big man when he knew who Kevin was. and Darren, like he knew who they were. So I would say that was very impactful. And, I kind of equate it to like, and he's always been very supportive, but, kind of like when we're working with prospects, it's like one presentation might not like lock them in. And he's been locked in. My husband's been locked in to support me. He's not working the business, but he does help refer to me customers. But I feel like this grabbed deeper, and I almost regret to say this out loud or hesitate to say this out loud. But on our way home, I don't get cranky very often, like barely ever. And I was just getting cranky and I was acting kind of whiny. And I laugh when I get cranky in a whiny way. And I just wanted him to do everything for me in the airplane. And I was like, I'm going to be going to Orlando. What am I going to do if I get cranky and you're not sitting here? And I was getting like that. I'm like, would you think about going to Orlando, the PXP with me? And like, I couldn't believe he didn't even flinch. Normally, he would be like, "Oh no, that's your thing. That you go. That's your thing." And he's like, "Well, maybe I'll go to Orlando." And I was like, "Do I respond really excited or just keep it low key?" And like, just I'm just gonna keep it as it is. But anyway, he was excited. He was excited to see the people who he's been, Matt and I know Dave's going to be there. I don't know if Mark's going to be there, but he got to hang out with Danielle Singh's husband and Matt quite a bit, and so I feel like it made a huge impact.
That's huge. Well,
Yeah,
happy anniversary again.
thank you.
And wow, wow, yes. These events are the hubby closers, the spouse closers. No,
And
but
I
we
think
love it.
the key was to go just with no expectation. I was
Mm,
so Jolene mentioned a lot of things that I found impactful. It was a really good combo of downtime, connect time, special time. And I found that to be very powerful. And I felt really proud. I felt really proud to have my husband there.
mm.
Um, not like, oh, I hope he doesn't see this part. I didn't feel like that at all. And so it was good. And he started his core cleanse today, and he had my
Hey,
daughter start her core cleanse today
wow.
because he heard the training directly. And so he started it today. He's very excited about it.
So awesome. Really key, guys, that you get that disconnect expectation whenever you bring anyone to anything, right? Spouse to something, prospect to something. That is a huge, huge thing. And I also love what you said, Tammy, that Partner Co has an environment that you don't have to be afraid about introducing or exposing anyone to anything. Like that's huge. That you cannot say the same about that for many other places in the world. But that is massive. Tammy, congratulations on coming back. If you've ever qualified, by the way, for a trip, the goal is then to continue to go. And then next year, I know Tammy's going to have more people with her at the trip too. That's going to be her target.
That's my goal. Yes.
Absolutely. That's just how it is. What a great way to build business and life. So congrats. Last but not least, we'll go over to Allison. I hope these are helpful, guys, that are just to be able to give some of the nuggets because I want these nuggets too. I haven't had a chance to actually hear this myself, so I'm grateful for that. But Allison, first Partner Co event, you got a chance to bring the hubby as well too. Maybe start there. What happened at the end? Talk to us a little bit about Mark, and then what happened at the end.
Yeah. So we first of all we went out to dinner with our kid. We got home at 8:30 this morning and I slept all day and I got up and the kids wanted to see us. So we went out to dinner and they love to ask us questions. And they said, okay, because they had been to Hawaii already before mom and dad. I was a little jealous, but they've experienced it. So they're okay, what's the best and what's the worst? And I said the worst was just not getting to see at all. I mean, there was so much to do, and there was such a great, like everybody said. I was telling them, it was a great compliment to have downtime. We had date night one night. It was so good. Um, that was the worst is just not getting to see all the things that we wanted to see. In my mind, all the things that I had that Hawaii looked like, I didn't get to see the waterfalls and all the things. There just wasn't enough time, but so we'll have to go back. Um, the best. Um, and I'm tired and I'll be emotional, but I want y'all to hear my heart. If you can get your spouses to these events, I don't think of myself as competent enough to be amongst leaders sometimes, right? I don't think of myself that way. And Mark is always telling me, honey, you're in this room, and I had no idea that I was going to be up on stage this time, this event. It shocked me. And for Mark to be there to see that, when he's always my biggest cheerleader, like Tammy said, he's not out front in the business. He always supports me. He always does that. But it's just not his niche. It's just not his niche. And when I kind of let that go and let him, he's actually coming along a little bit more, when I don't push him to do it. But for him to be there and see me up on stage, and he said, I hope you see yourself now the way I do. He said, because I want you to be proud of yourself because you do belong amongst these people. And so for your husband, I always want him to be the one to be very, very proud. And for him to say that, it got to my core. I loved him being there. And I think our daughter was thinking he was going to have a terrible time. And usually after 2 days, Mark was like, okay, when are we going home? She goes, Dad, you didn't even say you're ready to go home. He goes, not till really like 6 o'clock last night when we were getting on the plane, right? And then my last thing is, he's not a big proponent. He thinks he's in great shape, doesn't think he needs all the products, yada, yada. So every time I come home and, here I'm trying to sell him, he's like, no big deal. Talked about the core cleanse. And dang it, did Dr. Plant said one word that changed Mark's life this weekend, that the core cleanse can help with your cholesterol. And Mark started, like Tammy, Mark started taking it today, and I laughed so hard. I rounded the corner today, and he's like, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He goes, and then we're going to poop together on Saturday. I know that's too much information. We had so much fun talking about poop at breakfast, didn't we, James, yesterday?
We did.
But anyway, now he's on board with some of the products. So you don't, like Tammy said, you just have to get him there. And they just have to, be a cheerleader. And that's all I really want for him. But him by saying that to me is, I do, I do belong in this group. So it was really, really cool.
And we all echo that same sentiment. If you guys believe that everyone that shared belongs in the rooms they were just in, put a yes in the comments. And that also means for each of you as well, too, right? Why not? We set your emotion there. We set your heart there. You act like you deserve it already. And then just as bound to come. Thank you for sharing your heart, Allison. That's super powerful. So fun hanging out with Mark. He's hilarious. I'm glad I finally got to meet him. He's hilarious. Robert is hilarious as well, too. Everyone's hilarious. So fun times. So every one of us is in our journey at different places. And I know with this, there's always inevitable FOMO because you're like, I want to be there. I just want to encourage everybody here. There's a right time for everything in its right season. And once you get there, if this is one of your goals, right? Who here truly, like seriously has on your vision board to qualify for a trip with Partner Co, right? Put a me in the comments or give me a wave. Yeah, like if that is the case, it might not be the first year, it might not be the second year, but there will come a time when all the shifts need to happen. And you go there and then you go there again like Tammy, and then you keep on going, and then you're a staple. You're like, I remember, I'll leave this and then we'll round off. I remember in one of my first conventions I ever went to, my mentor remarked, and they're going to give the trip details at PXP. That's what they always do. So I remember my mentor said, look over there to the front row. And there was the top money earner of this company who happened to be Katie Holt Larson's sister-in-law. But she was a multimillionaire, helped each of her grandkids build a nursing income for their business and just really cool things. But my mentor said, look at this person. Her name was Colette. And they played the video of the next trip that came onto the screen. And my mentor was observing Colette. And she said this to her partner, said, you see that that's where we're going next. It wasn't okay, we have to qualify. Oh my gosh, I hope we get there. It was like, oh, we already know we're there. Because you become the type of person that is deserving, that is worthy, that is doing the business, it's impacting lives, it's serving to higher enough capacity where like it's automatically done these types of trips. And it shifts where you're like, we're just going, and then we're going to bring as many more people with us as well too. Let that be a mission. Let that be a goal that one day you become that person, and anyone absolutely can. Just follow the things that are placed here. All right. So where does that go to? It goes to mastering the systems that are in place. Okay. We are so excited that we have dialed in our systems through collaboration with everyone that you just heard. Like literally everyone that you just talked to, you heard from, they all not are just qualifying for trips and going, they're serving. That's another note to take. Those that really come into the culture, they're collaborating, they're lending out their gifts, they're on the calls. Or you guys have heard all these guys from various different things, trainings, calls, everything, right? But we've just updated our onboarding, and this is what we currently have. There might be others that we miss. If there is, then our apologies. But what we did is for everybody that went through our new onboarding launch bot and you completed the checklist and then you posted a photo of that or you printed it out, you checked it out, we put you onto this list. So huge congratulations on going through this to everybody that's on this list. It's massively important because if you want to duplicate scale, if you want to be able to achieve trips like this, the best way to do it is to be system driven. And the only way to be system driven is you have to know the system yourself as well too. We have a PXP ticket that we're going to raffle out on this, but I'm curious, maybe one or two of us. I'm curious if anyone, as they went through this, that's on that list. I'm curious to hear your feedback as you've gone through this onboarding, whether you're brand new or you've already launched before and then you've relaunched as well too. Any feedback from anyone? I'd love to hear from anyone that there is. Feel free to, yeah, Janine.
Yeah, it was just really good refresher. And what I love about this community is when you repost it, your colour block, how many people commented on it. And I'm feeling really guilty at the moment because we've been away. I haven't been able to do as much as I wanted to on the other side. But I so appreciate how many people actually do that and put their testimonials when you repost your colour block. That was amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, but the system was really good, simple.
Good. Perfect. Perfect. By the way, I saw we have Diane Odom that also qualified. We just missed her name on this list, so we'll get that name out there. So awesome job. We'll go Paula and then Pam to close it out. Paula? Miss Paula.
Sorry, I was trying to get off mute there.
Good.
So I just really liked that this was simple and not to try to talk negative, but the machine was a little confusing because it's like, okay, what link do we give? How do we lead? And it felt like it was too much with not enough direction. So this is much easier to follow. It is simple. It is straightforward. There's direction for people who don't understand. And I learned that some of my settings were not public, so that was hindering some of my posts. And I learned how to change the font on a color block post. And I really love that this was streamlined and educational. And I feel equipped to be able to help to guide others through it.
Not only did you help guide others, and I see in the chat Sheila and Sunny, and absolutely saw you in there every day. Everyone's super thankful for Paula's leadership during this, all the time, but especially during this last week. It is impressive when, like last week happens and leadership is out, and all of us are leaders, right? But the main schedule of things are out. And to see who just naturally steps in and steps up, Paula, absolutely. Every day you were just keeping the fire going. Every day you're adding value. Every day, I mean, I just saw your name everywhere. So thank you for being such a champion of the culture. And that's acting as if you're already there. Who here already knows Paula Allen is going to be one of the next ones on the next trip? Like it is inevitable, right? So thank you for that. And to hear that you also learned something through, even though you're so involved, that's powerful, Paula. So well done. Huge congratulations. We'll go over to Pam.
Yeah, thanks. Yes, I just want to reiterate, Paula just really kept everybody together, and I so appreciate that. Here's what I want to say is different. I've been through a lot of reiterations of how we share this business. This was the simplest, and here's some reasons why. Number one, when you were going through the bot, and you stepped away and you came back in, yes, it kept reminding you, put champion back in, but once you did that, it took you back to where you left off. And you didn't have to go through the whole thing all over again. So that helped me to be able to actually get it done. And yeah, and so I felt it was easier. It's definitely easier to share with others. There's just one place you go, you send them this link and you say, start here, period. And, I'm here for you. You're not doing this alone. Just get back to me with your questions. I got you. So it was easier to lead other people through, and that's huge. So thank you for the new one. And yeah, those little emojis of you two, or whatever you call them, they're very cute. They do look like you guys, but yeah, just definitely want to say it was simple to complete.
That's massive, Pam. Simplicity scales. So thanks for that
Yeah.
affirmation. And so good.
Yeah.
So good. Well, congrats, everybody. Let's give away a PXP ticket, by the way, for this. And if you haven't gone through the onboarding yet, complete it, right? You don't need it. It's not just about winning a ticket, which is nice, but it's about winning your business. So your homework today, if you haven't completed this yet, I want to challenge you in the next day, finish it. Go to our onboarding, go to wellness360.community/links, click on the orange button, onboarding, go through it, and just make sure you understand it. And I promise you that if you go step by step through the systems that we have in place, you will win. You will absolutely win. So we do have a winner. The last winner of this for a PXP ticket, Janine Carney won one of these. Adela Sanchez won one. Our last winner is going to be Marvik Vidare. Congratulations for Marvik. You have a PXP ticket coming to you. I know she's already going. So another one to be able to share with someone else there too. So huge congratulations. And where do we go from now? Okay. This week is going to be very important. We have a couple of things. All right. We are about to embark on the biggest run of our lives, going to PXP. One of the most essential parts of that, you launch your business, you duplicate that, but then you get into what John Wadzer now calls phase 3. Phase 3 is building up a social media brand to attract people that you don't know. Who here would love that to happen all the time? New customers, new partners, to never be fearful about who to talk to again. That's one thing that corporate's running around, but we're pioneering that. And what we are doing in the Millionaire Mentorship Group is we're going to put together a 90-day run where we have literally the best of the best of the best in the game that are training with us. We have the one and only Fraser Brooks that is the GOAT of network marketing, social media training. Annika Bell, Lorena Gabor, Habia Gale, Laura Sales, Dr. Linika Scott, Sarusha. These are all multi-7-figure earners, 8-figure earners, masters on social media that will be training us through a 90-day plan of training and implementation, exclusive to Millionaire Mentorship. Why do we do it there? Because we want to make sure you master the basics before we get into this. We're going to start next week, not this week, but make it a goal. If you're not in this, get in this. Be ultimate and personally enroll 2 brand partners. You do that, you're going to be good, and get your people into this. All right. This Wednesday, we will have an open training and call to everyone where you can learn more about them. So stay tuned for that post. Okay. Tomorrow, Tuesday, sorry, my dog is my first mentor's here, literally right outside. Pam, you know Elvis, right? He's literally right outside right now. So we're about to have dinner with him and his wife. We haven't really had dinner, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. But tomorrow, Tuesday, come back on. We're gonna give you straight strategies on how to recruit your next 2 partners. Okay. So if you want to learn that, we're going to have a work session and we're going to do that tomorrow in our Tactical Tuesday. Thursday, we're going to have a business presentation, and that's going to be a place where you can bring your prospects to. And then Friday is going to be a big celebration and everything. Okay. So stay tuned. Look out for all the chats and everything. Set your targets, set your goals. If you want to win a trip, make it a goal, I challenge everyone here in the next week, see if we can enroll 2 partners, at least 1, but aim for 2. If you could do that, moving into this next season, life's going to be amazing. All right, everyone. So with that, congratulations, everyone. Love you all. Let's get everyone here on the next trips. Have a great one. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you, James. Thank you.
Hasta luego. Gracias. Gracias. Thank you for everything. Dios los bendiga.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Hasta luego, James.